Alright, so today is the day. I'm going to go ahead and make a short video on how to use Scan9495 for specifically Buick Roadmaster, but it also works for any other B-Body, Impala SS, and Chevy Caprice. This is for the LT1 4L60E powertrain, so as far as I'm concerned, it won't work for the LO5 motors, whatever those were, 92 and 93 model year. Anyway, so Scan9495 is a free software made by a LT1 enthusiast for us people that were caught out buying the 94 to 95 model year. There was no software really out there to make or to log data from the PCM, so he went out and he made a program that allows us to see exactly what the computer is saying so that we can repair our cars reasonably. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's one of those things, you know, these OBD1 cars don't really see as much information as the OBD2 cars, obviously, but it helps quite a bit in that it shows you exactly what all the sensors are saying. So let's go ahead and dive into this here. So the vehicle in subject today is a 94 Buick Roadmaster. It is stock 350 LT1, duh, 4L60E. A couple stupid little things done to it, but there's no tuning here, so we don't have to worry about any funny business. So you're going to get in your vehicle, and you're going to have one of these. You don't have to have, but I like having one. It's a 12-pin ALDL cable. Now, ALDLcable.com sells these for about, I think it was like almost $70 delivered to my door, but, you know, I like it because it is USB, and that little piece right there on the top that you see is actually a resistor. So if you have another OBD1 car with software to scan that, you can actually move that resistor around and make it work with other, back to I think 83 OBD1 cars. So that's pretty cool. So what you're gonna do is your OBD1 hookup is right here, wherever my finger is pointing to it, right there. Yep. And you're gonna take your cable here, and since the little wide spot is at the bottom, you'll want that to be facing on the bottom when you go to plug it in. And you'll simply take it, and it's kind of funky to get in. You have to kind of know how to do it. You have to push it in straight, so you have to push up against the kick plate here a little bit to actually get it to fit, as you can tell right there. So you plug it in, and you'll come over to your computer, and as you can see, we got some programs over here, and you'll want to go to this one. Where's my mouse? My mouse is right there. Okay, so you want to go to this one right here, Scan9495. Gonna give it a few seconds to load. And yes, he even added the little key on sound that all the GMs from this era made. So let's make that sound for ourselves. So before I jump the gun here, hold on. Let's full screen our deal here. Okay, so you have a couple different options up here at the top. You have select year, and then you have your select port. Your port relates to the USB port that your cable is plugged into. So in this case, mine is 6, but there are many options available. Well, mine's 3 and 4 and 6, but your computer might have 4 or 5 USB, so it's going to depend on that. Just click around till you find the right one. It'll tell you when it found the right one. It's not difficult. You just keep messing around with it till you get the right one. So once you get this correct port selected, you'll then come over here and let me put the steering wheel down here. Okay, so you turn your key on, but just to the on position, and then you'll come back over here to Scan9495, and you'll see that when you hit connect, reset, a bunch of data is then populated. So what you want to, or what you can do right now is hit scan, and it'll start reading all the information right off the car. I don't think my engine is spinning 45 RPMs, but you get the idea here. So I'm going to start the car, and we're going to see just what this thing does. Okay, so the car has been started, as you can tell by the RPM. And so that's it. Just like that, you're collecting information. It's very simple. You know, I have to just give credit to the creator, Gary Doug. You know, he's the one that really, you know, well, he created it, and he went out and made it easy to use, and made it available to everyone for free. So there's a couple different things you can do here now that you're actually scanning. So the stop button will stop the scan right here, right now, if you wanted to. But on the B-Body and D-Body GM vehicles, you can scan the engine, transmission, and I believe the electrical faults. So let's just go ahead and see what transmission does, because you can see here, it's working, it's collecting data. So let's go to transmission, select that in green, okay. Let's go over here to the transmission then. So you can clearly see that it is pulling data off of the engine. So you can see the slip value and the engine RPM and the ignition volts being read off. Now, let's just say, for instance, I take this car and I put it in reverse. So you can see there that reverse, the gear, has been selected, number one, and all the solenoids have turned off and activated according to what needs to happen for the car to go into reverse. Now let's go into neutral. So it's in park. Park is the same as neutral. Basically, you have a, I'm not going to remember the name of the part, but the parking gear that actually holds the car still when it's in park. Let's go into drive. Okay, drive. Well, where's the actual gear? Gear commanded. That's what you want to see right there. So if you're not getting first at a standstill, you might have a little bit of a problem. I want to have that looked at, or look at it yourself, since you already have all this expensive hardware and stuff like that to look at your car. So, and also too, a really interesting feature that Gary added is the upshift downshift. So you can actually put this car in fourth, and it's actually in fourth right now. And then you can downshift, and it'll be in third, second, and then first. So now it's in first. So let's take it, and we'll put the car in neutral. Okay. The other cool feature that Gary has added to this vehicle is the actuator control panel. And what that does is it allows you to control certain parameters that the PCM is able to control. So in this instance, you have the fans. You can control fan 1, fan 2, or both. You can turn on the evap system, the purge solenoid. The EGR you can turn on to 100%. It'll almost kill the engine. And you can change the idle speed. And it'll, obviously it doesn't adjust the throttle body, it just changes the idle air control valve. Because this isn't a fly-by-wire, is that right? Am I using that term correctly? I hope I am. And then you can turn the AC on and off. Typically I just use the fans because I usually sit here for a long time and the motor starts to get hot, and I just like to keep it cool so I can get consistent results out of my sensors if I'm just testing things in neutral or park in my driveway like I am now. So you can go ahead and turn the fans on. Let's put the car in park. I'll show you that it even works. So you put the car in park. Okay, turn both fans on. Okay, you can hear the motor bog down. And we'll come over here, you can hear the fans are running, and it's starting to get a little windy over here. You can clearly see that the fans are running. And it'll run those for as long as you want until you stop scanning. Because if you note right here, it says scan must be active for this to work. So if you close the actuator tab or window, it'll turn the fans off. So that's transmission diagnostic trouble codes. It will read them off and tell you exactly what it is. I don't know if it's any use to me, but performance lamp open, I don't know what this is. I should probably investigate some of this maybe. I don't know, the car runs, so that's good enough for me for right now. So let's go ahead and stop this scan because I've been running this for a while now. Okay, so there you go. Now you have a data log. Now, something you can do here is you can save this scan to a log file, and what that will do is that will save that log that you just created while you were scanning, and it'll save it so you can view it later. And that's important if you have something happen once while you're driving it and it doesn't happen again, and it'll allow you to see what's going on. Now, let me show you how you view a log. That's the next part of this. So if you come up here to these tabs up here at the top, you'll have vehicle info, you get your VIN number, blah, 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 all this stuff. Communications, that thing will just read off 1,000 things a second. I don't know how the hell to decipher it. Doesn't do me any good. So charts, this is the useful stuff. Okay, so here we have our scan, and you can see just what was going on here. And you can come up here to the top, and you have two different what are these called, graphs that you can look at, right? So you can change what contents are in these graphs by coming up here to these drop down menus, and everything that it's recording over here on the engine tab is going to show up here. And I believe there's also some of the transmission graphs and logs that you can see in here as well, which is helpful. So and then you can use this here at the bottom to like zoom in on your chart, like if you feel the need to look at something much closer. I mean, you can really take this thing over. Let's do it just for fun here, and it'll really stretch that out so you can see exactly what it's doing. Like, well, I mean, you can see it by the milliseconds actually, because I believe that these things collect data at 10 times a second, so you should have 10 bits of data every single second on here, which is pretty good for an OBD1 car, you know, why not? So I think that kind of wraps it up. I probably will make more videos in the future about looking at different charts and kind of what they mean. As far as, let me just show you this one thing over here. God, if I can ever find my mouse. So it does have the clear engine and trans DTCs. I think you have to be scanning to do that. Yeah, you have to be scanning in order to use the clear trouble codes. So if you just go there, you click it, and then it'll say, caution, do you really want to do this? And since I don't have any codes, why not? Yes, we'll just clear them all. And it'll give you a little beep telling you that it is done clearing the codes. So if you go over here, I had none before, but I just used it before because I was using my MAF to shut off my motor when I was flushing my transmission, and I had a MAF sensor DTC, and I cleared it with this and it went away. So it does work. It works very well. It's very user friendly. I haven't been able to blow my car up. As you can tell, it still runs, kind of. I don't know, I got this huge mess that comes from an ejector, so we'll be addressing that here soon. But outside of that, it's very simple. You need an ALDL cable, or you can go, and there are some ways that people online have found out how to tap into the port down there with some pins and like I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's like a microprocessor of some sort. And then you can solder some wires together, and it'll basically make this same cable for like $3. I just like this thing because it's very professional looking, and I know what to expect. I know that it's not going to fall apart or not work on me. So, but like I was saying, you just need an ALDL cable or a DIY cable, and the Scan9495 software, which I will leave a link to in the description so that you guys can go download it. It is free. It comes with user manuals. It comes with everything you need to know to use this software. I mean, not that you need to know a lot to really use it anyway. I mean, I have never really touched anything quite like this, and literally within 2 minutes of plugging into my car the first time, I was able to understand exactly what I was seeing and what was going on. So you can't hurt your car using this. It doesn't communicate with the PCM. The only thing that you're actually doing is getting the information off of it. Now, what you're going to say is, well, the actuators control the PCM. Well, that might be true. There might be some things you can't control, but for the most part, Gary has made it foolproof so that you can't possibly do something to the PCM to maybe like reprogram it or try and flash it or anything like that. There's no flashware in this program, so just to note that. Now, one other thing I do want to say about the actuators: if you hit reset all and you have a B-Body, specifically a Roadmaster, because I don't know for the Caprices or the Impala SS, but for the Roadmasters, it will turn on the ABS light underneath the brake light. Don't be alarmed. Just shut the vehicle off, turn it back on, it goes away, the ABS works fine. I don't know why it turns the ABS light on. I think it just has something to do with the fact that the ABS diagnostics in this software don't work for B-Bodies. The ABS and the SIR don't work. So don't even bother turning those on over here. You're not going to get any information. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to harm your car, but it's just not going to do anything, and it doesn't do you any good anyway. So just don't even waste your time with it. But outside of that, I hope this is a good basic introduction for you guys. Sorry for the super novice quality over here, but I'm using my phone to do this right now. So yeah, that's it. 172,600 miles. Somehow it made it. But hopefully it'll go a little further thanks to Gary. So looking forward to putting this on the internet, and I'll talk to you guys later.